Welcome everybody to lesson number 7, the determinant. A determinant is a number that's associated with a specific matrix. By itself, it's just a number, but when you start using the determinant in a course called linear algebra, you can do quite a lot of things with it. It helps out with a lot of laws and rules specific to matrices. So what we're going to be doing today is learning how to calculate the determinant, which is a process all on its own. So let's look at the determinant of a 2 by 2 matrix. We're going to have A here be A1, B1, A2, and B2. The determinant of matrix A, we're going to multiply A1 and A2 and subtract A2 times B1, which is actually kind of familiar, right? These are cross multiplication basically with subtraction. We should remember that from yesterday when we learned the shortcut method of finding the inverse, right? We were using these same values. So that's kind of a nice trick to remember for finding a determinant. But let's use this formula and find the determinant of each of these matrices. So here we've got determinant of A. It's going to be equal to 1 times negative 2 minus 3 times 4. That's negative 2 minus 12, which gives us a determinant of negative 14. For problem B, the determinant of matrix B, we have 5 over 2 times 2 minus negative 1 times negative 4. Let's see, those eliminate. We've got 5 minus, let's see, those double negatives becomes positive 4. So that gives us a determinant of 1. And finally, for C, we've got negative 4 times negative 4 minus 8 times 2. This is 16 minus 16. Gives us a determinant of 0. Okay, so finding the determinant of a 2 by 2, not really difficult, right? Try these out, see how you do. I'll leave these up as a reference. Pause the video and resume when you're ready to check. Alright, let's see how you did. For A, we're going to be doing 0 times 3 minus 5 times negative 2. That's 0 minus negative 10, so that's a double negative. That becomes plus 10. For problem B, we're doing 4 times 3 minus 2 times 6. That's 12 minus 12, which is 0. And our last one, we have 2/3 times negative 3 minus 1 times 3, sorry. Multiply those, eliminate, and we're left with negative 2 minus 3 is negative 5. Okay, those are determinants. And those are the easy ones, right? Those are 2 by 2s. We need, for the 3 by 3s, basically a whole note of pages. So be ready to take a couple of notes. Pause the video on the screen right here. Okay, there's a little bit more, so if you want to pause it on this screen here. Okay, let's talk about these real quick. Right, the minor, this is something, by the way, that we need in order to calculate the determinant of a 3 by 3 or greater. Okay, so the minor is a coordinate basically, or an entry in our matrix M for minor, at position ij, which is going to be equivalent to the A in that same position as the determinant of the matrix obtained by deleting the ith row in jth column. So this right here explains exactly how to find it. This is what it looks like. Okay, let's say that we're finding the minor of A13. Remember, position 1 would be row 1, and then 3 would be column 3. So we're trying to find this determinant. So this is telling us that we're going to delete those rows, right? So I'm going to cross these off, and we're going to find the determinant of whatever remains, which we just found was pretty easy. We just multiply, subtract, multiply, and that'll give us that minor that we're looking for. Okay, so that's how the minor works, and we'll see that in practice in a moment. Cofactor, it's just a big pattern, basically over and over. These are all square matrices, which is what we would be finding a determinant for. And you notice that it always starts in the top corner as positive, and then it goes minus, plus, right? And it goes out, minus, plus. It's kind of checkerboard patterned here, right? And even when we expand it to a 4x4, it just continues this pattern. And so on and so on. So it doesn't really matter. The next one here would be positive, then negative, and we keep on expanding that way. It doesn't matter how big it is. Okay, but what they are is these are going to be assignments for the minors in each respective position. So basically, we do all of this work, right, and we find that position, the minor, and then we would multiply for this particular one. This is the respective position. We multiply it by positive. So basically it would keep its sign. If we found this minor, which is right below it, afterwards we'd multiply by this negative, and that would give us the true form of the minor. That'd be the cofactor. Okay? And then what we're going to do to find the determinant of any n by n matrix, you're going to find the sum of any row or column. This is important. We can choose any row or column of the original entry multiplied by the respective cofactor. So this is what we need to do to find the determinant. These are the steps to finding the cofactors, which is required. Okay, so it's kind of a process. So let's find the determinant of this 3x3 matrix. Take a second and copy that down. Okay, now here's the deal. This is going to be a lot of writing, so you're probably going to hear me pause quite a bit. In fact, I'm just going to start off just writing these out, and if you feel like you want to skip ahead a couple of seconds, it's up to you, but just be careful because you might fast forward a little too quickly and miss something. Okay, so I'm going to take this matrix right here, and if I want to find the very first position, A11, I'm going to cross off all these things that are either in the same column or row, and then I'm going to find the determinant of what remains. -1 times -3 minus -2 times -2. That's 3 minus 4, which is -1. Okay, we've got to do that process for each of these positions. So again, if you want to fast forward till you get to all of these filled out, you can, but just be keeping track. You're going to be looking for, I think, a total of 9 of these. So if you want to fast forward, go for it. Alright, I'm crossing out the remainder, and I'm going to find the determinants. 3 times -3 minus 3 times negative 2, negative 9 minus negative 6, that becomes plus, we get negative 3. Okay, so I've got the top 3 entries right here as negative 1, negative 3, negative 3. These are minors at the moment, and then we'll worry about the whole cofactor thing after. I'm going to go and find the middle row from here. So it's just pretty much the same thing. Over and over and over. This is the entry that I'm finding right now. So I'm going to cross off everything else. And now these are what I'm multiplying. Negative 2, negative 3, minus negative 2 times 1. That's positive 6 minus negative 2, which gives us 8. Okay, now I'm finding the middle one. Cross off all the rest of this stuff. So we're doing the 4 corners. We get negative 12. Let's see, 3 times negative 2, and 3 times negative 2, so this is negative 6 minus negative 6, that's going to be a 0. So now I found the middle 3. I'm going to do the final row down here as well. So I'm finding my first bottom row position. I'm coming up with 5. Let's see, we get negative 6 minus 3, which is negative 9. And finally, our last one. If you were here this whole time, I sincerely apologize for how boring this must have been to watch. Let's see, negative 3 minus negative 6, so negative 3 plus 6 is positive 3. All right, if you fast forward, this is hopefully where you stopped. We've got the top row, middle row, and bottom row of our minors. So I'm going to write those in a matrix. Right, we had negative 1, negative 3, negative 3. Then we had 8, negative 12, and 0. And finally 5, negative 9, and 3. Those are our minors. Then we're going to multiply by positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive. Right? These are the cofactor assignments. So basically, it's going to be keep, change, keep, change, keep, change, right? So keep sign, change sign, keep sign. Change sign, so it was negative, should be positive. Keep sign, was negative, stays negative. Change sign becomes positive, right? 0 has no sign, so it just stays. These are our cofactors, right? So these were the minors, these were the assignments, these are the cofactors. And if you remember what it told us to do to find the determinant, right, here's the determinant of A. It says that we have to take any row of the original. So let's do the top row. Okay, oops, you can't see that here. Here's the top row. All right, we've got 3 times the respective top row cofactor, so times -1. And we're finding the sum. So now I've got to do -2 times respective, which would be 3, plus 1 times its respective entry, -3. All right. There's a little bit more on the screen. Let's see, we've got -3 minus 6 minus 3, which equals -12. So the determinant for this particular matrix up here is -12. So you got one here to try. It's quite a lengthy process, so pause the video and resume when you're ready to check. Okay, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to suggest that you just pause and go until you get to the end where you see me kind of doing this, showing what's completed, and just check to see that your minors match mine. So I'm going to just suggest go ahead and fast forward to that point from here. If not, you're just going to hear me kind of scraping this pen against paper for a couple of minutes. Okay, this is where you want to stop fast forwarding to. Why did I take the time to actually do all those out instead of just writing down what the minor was? Well, maybe you messed up somewhere and you want to go back and check your arithmetic, okay? Because sometimes that happens and we don't want to do all this work to have one of these end up wrong, right? That would be a waste of time. So, we're going to write down these. We got 3, 3, 3 for the top row, -6, 18, and -6 for the middle row, -5, 3, and 3 for the bottom row. Okay. Now here's the deal. You could have chose any row that you wanted to do the determinant. Okay. It doesn't matter if you do the top row, if you do the middle column, whatever. I'm noticing that I have some zeros here, so I'm probably going to be using the bottom row. Okay, or I notice I have a 0 here and I have -1s here, so I could just change the signs. Right, so those are things that I can think about when I do these. Okay, but this is our minors. We've got to assign now the cofactors. So here's what we get for our cofactors. Keep, change, keep, change, keep, change, keep, change, keep. Hopefully this is what you came up with for your cofactors. That's a lot quicker to do than the minors, huh? Right, now we get to do the determinant at this point. So I'm going to scroll up just a little bit. As I mentioned, we're going to choose one of these columns, or we could do any of these rows. It doesn't really matter. I said those backwards. I realize that, but I'm going to choose this one here. Okay, and that means I have to use these cofactors. You could have used any of these, but we've got 0 times 6 plus -1 times 18 plus -1 times 6. So that's 0 minus 18 minus 6, which equals, drum roll, -24. Okay, so yeah, that's a bunch of work to do to get a number that we're not really going to be using quite right now in this course anyways. Wow, this is a long video if you haven't been fast forwarding at all, because there's still a little bit left to do. We're going to learn 2 shortcuts. Okay, here's the first shortcut. The shortcut is just do one row or column, seeing as that's all we need anyways, right? A lot of teachers would probably yell at me for suggesting this, but in all reality, if we only need the top row to like add here and the cofactors that we need to find, why am I going to take all the time to do all 9 of these when I only need 3? So that's one suggestion. So let's check out this shortcut. Okay, we're going to do the cofactors. 5, 3, 3, -4, 5, -5, 3, 1, 0. So I'm going to do the top row. Okay. -5 times 0 minus 3 times 1. That's nothing. That's -3. I'm going to do the middle one. -4 times 0 minus 5 times 1. That's 0. That's -5. I'm going to do the final one now. 5, -4, 5. -4 times 3. minus 5 times negative 5, so that's negative 12, minus negative 25, so that's plus, so that's going to be positive 13. So here's the deal, right? We get negative 3, negative 5, and 13. I don't care what we get in any of these places. It doesn't really matter. We're going to assign cofactors, right? Plus, minus, plus. Again, I don't care about these ones. I know that they're plus and minuses. It doesn't matter. So here's what we get for our cofactors. Keep the sign, negative 3. Change the sign, so that becomes positive 5. And keep the sign, so that's 13. And who cares about these ones for right now? Okay. Now to find the determinant at this point, we only need the top row and what we just found. So here we go. Determinant of A, we're going to do 5 times negative 3 plus 3 times 5 plus 3 times 13. That's negative 15. That's positive 15. This is positive 39. Those cancel out. And we get the determinant to be 39. So the shortcut, the first shortcut, because there's two, is just pick a row or a column. If you wanted to use a column, you could have done that too. My suggestion is you use a 0 because it's going to be easier to multiply. Actually, it doesn't really matter because I didn't use one here. But that just saved you about, I don't know, a couple minutes worth of work. So you can try that shortcut method, which is basically the same, right here. All right, let's check it out. It doesn't really matter which one we do. I'm just going to do the top. Okay, so negative 6, 3, and 4. All right, we're going to do this first entry. I'm coming up with 21. Second entry. Get negative 1. Our final entry. Oops. I got 29. Okay, so these are just the top row. If you do this on your own, hopefully you did the top row. All right, so we've got 21, negative 1, 29, and I'm just going to put some dashes in for those next marks. I know I've got to now do my assignments. So the cotangent, or the, sorry, not cotangents. The cofactors here are going to be 21, positive 1, and 29. So now when I do the determinant math here, we're doing this top row. So the determinant of A is going to be negative 6 times 21 plus negative 6 times positive 1 plus 1 times 29. Okay, got your either math thinking caps or calculator. We've got to do negative 6 times 21. That's negative 126. Minus 6 plus 29. Add those up. let's see, that's negative 132 plus 29, so 132 minus 29, that's 103. Keep the minus sign. There we go. That's our determinant. Hope you found that same one. And if you chose to do a different row or a column, hopefully you found that you got the same answer. By the way, that was only shortcut number 1. This is the second shortcut. It's an actual method. This is something that's approved by many teachers. Okay, this is all purple, so you don't have to write it down, but these are the steps. We're going to rewrite the first 2 columns directly after the third. We're going to multiply diagonals as shown below, which we'll talk about in a second. And then third, we're going to add the down arrow products, and then we're going to subtract the up arrow product as well. Okay, and let's check out how that works. Here would be our original matrix, would be right here. But what we did was we took this whole first column and repeated it, and the entire second column and then repeated it, right? So they're directly after, just as this explained here. Then we multiply along these diagonals. So this is all multiplication. Whatever that is times this times this. Whatever that is times this, right? And we do that for the down arrows, and we do that as well for the up arrows. And then, when we want to find the actual determinant, we're going to take each of these, and we're going to add them, and then we're going to subtract each of these. So let's see one done out. Okay. This is actually enough right here. We don't need those instructions showing. So I'm just going to rewrite this. 3, negative 4, 1, 4, 6, negative 4, 5, 3, 3. And then I'm going to repeat this first and then the second. Then we're going to multiply. Okay, 1 times 6 times 5, that's 30. Negative 4 times 3 is negative 36. And then finally, 3 times negative 4 times positive 4, that's negative 48. And these are the ones that I'm subtracting. Then we got to go across this way. 3 times 6 times 3 is 54. 4 times 3 times 1 is 12. 5 times 4 times 4 is positive 80. And these are the ones that we're going to add. Okay, so I'm going to do this right now. Right, the determinant of A. Let's add these. That's 54 plus 12 plus 80. And then we're going to subtract these. 30 minus 36 and minus 48. Okay, well, let's see. 54 plus 12 plus 80 is 146. 30 minus 36 minus 48, that's negative 54. That's a double negative, so that becomes addition. So 146 plus 54 is 200. Okay, so either shortcut method basically takes the same amount of time to do. You could like the old method, only having to do one row or column, or you can do this new method, which I will show you. Keep this up here. I want you to try this method to see which one you like better. So pause the video and resume when you're ready to check. Alright, let's do this. We want to rewrite this matrix. And then we're going to copy the first 2 columns. Okay. Now we need to do some multiplication. If I do this first one up here, we're going to get negative 60. The second row, we're going to get negative 50. And this one's nice because it's a 0. Anything that we multiply by 0 stays at 0. Those are the ones that we subtract. Now we got to do the down arrows. Negative 36 here. Negative 125 here. And again with a 0. These are the ones that we're going to add. Okay. Let's see, so we've got to do the addition ones. That's negative 36 minus 125. I'm not even going to write the plus 0. Minus negative 60 minus 50. And I'm not even going to write that 0. No point in writing them. So let's see. Negative 36 minus 125 is negative 161. Negative 60 minus 50 is minus 110. That's double negatives. That's really addition. So negative 161 plus 110 is negative 51. Hopefully you got that solution. And that's it for this lesson. Wow, that's the longest video I think so far. Maybe not. Maybe there was one back in the trig that was longer. Maybe we can make this longer by having this like crocodile dance or something. Alright, extend the video a little bit. Anyways, that's the end of this unit. I don't know, we're on 7, I think. This was a lot of linear algebra, which is a course all on its own. It's pretty neat course. There's a lot more that you can do with determinants of any size matrix. Unfortunately, for this course, we don't really get into that very much, but if you're interested in it, check out linear algebra. Alright, well, I'll see you at Unit 8. Bye.